Look, if you are in network marketing, this is going to be a really good scope for you. This is going to be training that a lot of times, this is going to be like a paid coaching training. There's one thing that I got really good at in network marketing after struggling for so many years. It's how do I enroll the most amount of people per month and per day? And how do I enroll the highest quality people that have the most potential to go to work and build a huge business for themselves, which ultimately builds a huge business for you and those of you that are listening in via the conference bridge right now. That's what we're going to talk about today. I spent a lot of time putting together the DNA of the blueprint of exactly what it takes to build a thriving blueprint for recruiting. What does it take for you to get your recruiting going? Good to see everybody out there that has just joined us, by the way, on Facebook. I know hundreds of you will be watching the replay of this as well. And by the way, if you are in network marketing and you have anybody that is on your list that's in network marketing that you know that needs to hear this message, whether you're doing it live right now or even if you're watching the replay of this on Facebook or Periscope, you can share this, but also do me a favor, because I like to go back and see all the comments. Please, if you have any questions or comments, do me a favor after this or during this. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them in there. If you're on Periscope, you might want to wait. Thank you so much, Melissa, for sharing this. But afterward, if you have any questions that I can help you out, and look, guys, for those of you that don't know me, I've been full-time in network marketing for 20 years. My wife and I have been the #1 income earner, top enroller, not just in our company, but maybe network marketing when we're in a zone building in the trenches. And we learned some strategies that have been able to help us not only be the top enroller, but top income earner. You know, usually when you hear of people being the top enroller, they usually don't understand the psychology of leadership and duplication and replicating that. They're usually really good at sales, and they've treated the recruiting process like a sales process. But unfortunately, they've not learned the other much more difficult part of network marketing, which is the duplication, the leadership. How do you replicate yourself? How do you replicate in network marketing? And it took me 10 years to go from being just an okay recruiter to being one of the best recruiters I possibly could be, enrolling 1 to 3 people every day, 3 to 500 people a year, and on a very bad year, and I don't want to say bad year, on a very slow year, it's usually about 100 to 150 people. Even over the last few years, I was thinking about it, that I was feeling a little bad the other day. I was thinking, like this last 2 years has probably been the lowest I've ever recruited in many years, because I've been focused more on building some other brands and coaching and training. But I was just thinking about it. I looked at the numbers. It was still over 120 people that we enrolled over the last 12 months. And we don't do network marketing full time. It's almost very part time because we do a lot more coaching and training now. So it's just crazy to see the numbers. But it took me about 10 years to not only figure out how to be a great recruiter, not just a good one, a great recruiter. And I'm going to break that down today. But it took me that long to finally go, how in the world do I replicate and build, again, not just recruit and get a bunch of people that maybe will do something. How do I develop that culture, that environment to show people how simple the process is of duplicating and replicating a business? So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go through that blueprint of how we do that. Are you guys ready? Are you ready to rock and roll? Good to see you out there, by the way. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with the blueprint. And the first thing I'm going to talk to you guys about today is the difference between being great and being your best. Okay, you with me on that? The difference between being great at recruiting and the difference between being your best. Do you think there's a big difference? How many of you think that there's a big difference in that? Look, if you were to interview some of the top 6 and 7-figure earners in network marketing, if you were to interview people that are kind of doing a pretty good job in network marketing, what I've identified in this industry and coaching one-on-one every single day, people pay me a really good amount of money for me to show them not what great looks like, not what good looks like, but what their potential looks like. And I'm telling you, the difference between people that are kicking butt in your company and in this industry, the people that look like they're crushing it, recruiting and duplicating, and the difference of what's possible of their best is not this much difference. It's not this much difference. And by the way, for those of you that are listening right now, it's not an inch difference. It's not 2 inches. It's not 3 inches. It's not 6 inches. It's not 12 inches. It's not a foot. It's more like a mile. The difference between great and your best is a mile in difference, meaning your best is so far beyond how great you think you're doing right now. For most of you. Now, if there's someone that is watching this right now that says, Tom, I am at my best. Look, if you're at your best, if you want to know how you know you're at your best, some of you want to know, let me define this for you. If you're at your best, you are most likely within the top 3 people in your entire company recruiting. If you're at your best. If you're at your best at your company convention, if you're at your best at your company convention, at a generic training event, at maybe a boot camp, you look at everybody else's numbers. If they show the numbers in your company, you see the numbers, and it looks like everybody in your company is working like this. In slow motion. It looks like they're working like this and talking like this. But in the reality, they think they are working at their best potential. But the reality based on what looks like the norm, please catch this. This is so big. The normal in network marketing is so much lower than almost every single person's potential of what they can do. And how do I know this? Because I was that person for my first 10 years in network marketing. I would always make a 6-figure income. I would always get up to the top of the recruiting boards. But when I went from being great at network marketing my first 10 years, and I was pretty good, and I was thinking that I was just as good as anybody else in my company. I was just as good of a recruiter. And over time, I became just as good as a duplicator. But then I had my aha moment, my break-in moment. And many of you have heard the story where I lost everything. I was stripped financially. And I went from being good, I went from being great to my best potential. Let me give you, I got to break this down because look, I could teach you skill set. I could teach you overcoming objections. I could teach you follow-up skills. I can role play with you. I could do so many things to help you strategically. But I am here to tell you, if you get this one thing, you may look at me one day and go, that was the greatest advice. That was the greatest strategic skill set, mindset that I needed. I remember having this conversation with David Wood many, many, many years ago. We'd have these incredible, because he's such a smart guy, the owner of Empower Network. Him and I used to go back and forth, and I was drilling them in his head like this. And he was that, if I remember looking back and go, he was the one guy that used to go, oh my gosh, I get it, right? And I pray that right now you get what I'm saying to you. Let me give you a couple analogies, and let me come from a different angle to share with you and drive this home point for those of you that are listening in. The difference of being great and your best is the difference between being in the military and being a Navy SEAL. And if you're not in America, that's like being in the military compared to being I don't know how many Navy SEALs there are in this world, but I think there's less than 100 active duty. I know it's very small, like less than a few hundred compared to the hundreds of thousands of really good men and women in the military. There's just that exceptionalness. Now, and then here's another analogy. That's awesome. Here's another analogy. The difference between being an Olympic marathoner compared to someone that's just running. The difference in what someone that just runs a marathon and how their form is, how they think, how they eat, how they sleep, how they train, all the above, it's just a different mindset. Now, if you're in network marketing, I'm giving an extreme example. Thank goodness you don't have to put your body through the pain of being a marathoner or a Navy SEAL. But no matter who you are, no matter who's listening, no matter who is watching, no matter where you've been in your network marketing, no matter if you think you can be great at your business, or maybe you think that you don't know if you can have that potential, I am here to tell you, if you're going to be the best possible recruiting, duplicating, and leadership, I am telling you that you have the ability to, if you're at your best, when you truly understand what your best looks like, again, it will look like every single person in your company is in slow motion. You know, here's another analogy that as I was putting this together, here's another crazy analogy. Good to see you out there, brother. Another crazy, I don't even know if this makes sense, but I'm just going to say it. This is what made sense to my mind, is it's kind of like the difference between organic food, right? In America, we think the way that we eat is normal. We think that the way that people are eating food is the way that it is now. But the reality is, if you went back 300 years from now, and we can all go back 300 years from now, not only was the work ethic so much stronger, I know that, but the way that people ate food was normal. It was different than it is right now. And we think that the foods we eat, with the pesticides and the GMOs and even the organic food, isn't as great as we think it is compared to being raised on a farm from 50, 60, 100, 300 years ago. That's what's happening in network marketing right now. And trust me, look at me. You know how I know this, like deep to my core? Because I got caught up in that myself recently. I got caught up in being not just being kind of at a good level in network marketing, but not being at the level that I'm called to be, not being at the level that is the best that I could possibly be. So I'm coming at you right now. Promise you, I'm not preaching you at a coaching level. I'm beating myself up right now because I've been suppressing myself. I'll just touch on a little bit of a butt whooping to myself, living in some fear more than I want to admit on this call right now. And I've been, getting weak, getting flabby prospecting muscles again, building up my self-entitlement. I'm Tom Challan. Man, I don't need to really go start from scratch again. I don't need to really grind it out anymore, right? Self-entitlement, and all that leads to suppression, working less, figuring out more creative ways, creative strategies. Look, you want to know some of the lowest recruiters in network marketing? The ones that are looking for the shortcuts, the ones that are looking for the new creative way to do it. And look, there's some great new creative strategies to build and recruit, and they work. And I'm not saying don't learn some of those things, but the people that are kicking butt in network marketing right now are the ones that are just saying, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to find a way to talk to the most amount of people, the most qualified people that I can today, and I'm going to bring them in my business. So what's normal in your team? What's normal in your company? What's normal in our industry? If you're looking around at what is a representation of what you want to do, I'm telling you, most likely all you're going to look at, even with your 6 and 7 figure earners, what you're going to look like is someone that's doing a good job, maybe a great job, but don't learn from them, grow from them, grab knowledge from some of the top leaders in this industry, but also look, God created you to be the best that you can be. And when you're at that level, your recruiting goes through the roof. The amount of people that will be attracted to you, it's almost unbelievable. You're at a Navy SEAL, an Olympic athlete. You're at such a high level. And you want to know something crazy? you're working less hours. If you want to be just good, let me tell you what good looks like. Another analogy of good or great. Good means you're prospecting and you're having to talk to more people than you should. Good means that you're working way too many hours. When you're at your best, people just want to work with you. When you're at your best, the quality of the people are higher. So let's start breaking this down and wrapping up this call here. And I hope I drove that home hard enough. So you don't want to just be great. You want to be at your best potential that you were born to be. You want to be at your best potential that you were born to be, period. And don't, again, if you get caught up in looking around, you might not be at your best. Trust me, I've done that. And let me share something with you right now. Okay, this is another piece of the blueprint. If I was to pay each and every one of you that's watching this live or watching the recording later on Facebook or Periscope or listening in via the computer or on the conference bridge, I want you to imagine something right now. I'm going to pay each and every one of you, if I could, just to visualize it. I'm going to pay you. Thank you so much, by the way, Simon Cryer. You are a superstar. You are a leader. And I'm just so proud to be your friend right now. I'm so proud to be friends with you, brother. Thank you so much for sharing. And Nate Ridgway, you too, buddy. Okay, so if I was to pay each and every one of you $3,500 per day, stick with me, $3,500 per day. Today, you get paid $3,500. Tomorrow, you get paid $3,500. That's over a $7-figure million-dollar yearly income. And what you had to do was during the time that you have to work your business, you called, let's just say you had, let's say it was 4 hours, that you had to call 85 people per day. You with me? You had to call 85 new people per day. You had to follow up with 20 new people per day. I'm sorry, you had to follow up with 20 existing conversations per day. And if you didn't make 85 calls and let's say 15 follow-ups, you will not receive your $3,500 in a day. How many of you that's listening in live or listening to the recording, how many of you would do that? How many of you? Or you would get fired. You cannot make $3,500 a day. I have a friend of mine that lives locally. He has a multi-million-dollar company. Yes, of course you would. He has a multi-million-dollar company. And his sales reps that make nowhere near the potential that you have the ability to earn in your company. Nowhere near the potential. These are phone sales people. And his people that join new have to make 300 calls per day. 300 calls per day selling something they're not that passionate about. Selling something that's very hard to sell compared to your products in your company, your service, your business opportunity. 300, and they don't make they don't even make $350 per day, let alone $3,500 per day. So my point to that is that when I'm coaching people one-on-one, when I'm doing my live recruiting boot camps every single month, I realize how low the amount of focus is and intensity for prospecting and following up with brand new people. Look, part of this blueprint is knowing your number. What is your number? Here's what I mean. How many people does it take for you to call, have great conversations with before you get one person to say yes? How many does that take? Now, when I thought I was doing a great job, I used to say this every day to my wife. When I was so hungry, I used to say, oh, I got another one. I got another one. And then the next day I'd be like, oh, I got another one, honey. I just recruited another one. The next day, I got another one. I know it. She's going to be a superstar. And then she looked at our genealogy report. And she's like, where are these people that you said that just enrolled with us? I don't see anybody yet, right? Because I used to prospect and I used to get pretty good responses, but I never was assumptive enough to get them every single person involved. I didn't enroll everybody. I wasn't enrolling anybody, but they said yes. Let me get back to you. Let me pay the money tomorrow. So at one point when I became completely authentic with recruiting, and I got to the point where I knew my numbers back in the day, if I had 20 people in my pipeline that said, yes, I want to work with you. This looks really good. I just need to raise the money and I'll pay you tomorrow. I get paid on Friday. I'll call you on Friday and join at your top package. Let me just talk to my wife and then Monday I'll call you and we'll start fresh. So I knew that if I had 20 people that I had an exceptional connection with, 20 people that wanted to work with me, 20 people that has the financial and is qualified to work with me, 20 people with big goals, big desires, big dreams, big why of why they want to do this business, I knew that if I had 20 in my pipeline of proficient and strategic follow-up, I knew that I could enroll one of them at will. I knew that, so if I had 20 in my pipeline on Monday, I know if I called all those 20 on Tuesday, or they called me back on Tuesday, the next day, I know minimum I would enroll at least 1 to 3 of those 20. Now, how many of you would say that why don't you enroll all 20? If they all said yes, I've already gone through multiple follow-up, they've seen my presentation 1 or 2 or 3, 4 times, they've seen my follow-up emails, they've seen maybe multiple videos of Kim and I, they know us, they like us, they trust us, we've got great relationships, we've got a great connection, I've done everything right based on my strategic skills of doing this for many years. Why wouldn't all 20 join me on Tuesday? Why? Why doesn't everybody join you? That sounds great and is that perfect scenario. Why? Because they're human. Because they lie. Because the fear bug bit them at night. Because the wife crapped down their parade. Or the husband, if it's the other way around. The husband crapped down their throat. Because they slept on it, the fear crept up and the lie started hitting their head. Hey, you tried 5 of these before. Even though you like that guy, Tom, even though the company looks good, the last 10 companies look good. So life pounded them back down. The lies pounded them back down and made them not normal, not good, but they put them back into their comfort zone box. And the box got shut and they won't return your phone call. And they're blowing you off. Here you are, had a great relationship with them on Monday. You've been following up with them 7 times. It's time to enroll and they're MIA, missing in action. So I got mad one day and I looked at my 4 little babies. I looked at my wife with dreams and goals and I said, I'm not going to put my future in the hands of 1 person, of 2 people, of 5 people, of 10 people. What is my number? What was Tom Challan's number? My number was 20. I guaranteed I would enroll 1 person when I had 20 in my pipeline. I was guaranteed, minimum. There wasn't a day that went by practically every single year, not one day that would ever go by where I wouldn't enroll at least 1 person per day, minimum. It was like, it became like I knew I was going to drink water because I had to hydrate my body, right? I knew I was going to eat breakfast and lunch and dinner because I needed to fuel my human body. It lives on food. I knew that I would breathe so I can live. And I knew I would recruit 1 great person per day. I knew that I would recruit 1 great person per day. How about you? What is your number? Are you at your best potential for recruiting? Now look, I know you can easily start to justify right now and say, well, I don't need to recruit. I work deep through depth. I do both. I do both. My first 10 years was mostly building deep, and I learned how to do it traditional network marketing style, which means you recruit, taproot, go deep through three-ways and all that. And then my next 5 years, I got really good at going wide with so many good people. And then I plugged them into a system and they went deep on their own. I didn't taproot as much. But you want to know what I would do in 2016? If you want to know the ultimate, I know this is the ultimate way to recruit. I would talk to anybody, even if they're making 300 times more money than I've ever made. I don't care if it's a 7-figure. I feel confident and I have an extreme discernment that the best way to build in 2016 is the strategies that have been proven over 100 years in network marketing on leadership development, which means work with the people who deserve your time and drive deep through their center of influence. Nate Ridgway, Simon Cryer, some of the top 6 and 7-figure earners that are listening to this right now are masters at that. But, this is not a but. This is not a but. And, so you go deep, and you go wide. You never, ever get the mindset that you're not personally bringing in a new superstar. Now look, am I saying that you have to recruit 1 to 3 people per day? No, I'm not. You know, thank good, we're in an industry that's based on leverage and based on replication, not personal recruiting maniacs. I just learned that when I got rid of all my BS, when I get rid of all my crap and my self-entitlement and my fear and my own excuses, when I get rid of using ADD as an excuse why I can't be focused, when I get rid of half-heartedly following up with good people, and I learn how to be systematic, strategic, and at my best just happens to be enrolling one person working very little hours every single day. It's almost like, again, just like eating, just like drinking, just like breathing. I'm just going to enroll 1 to 3 people a day because it's a muscle, it's a skill, it's a mindset, and I don't want to anymore. I want to get back in that zone, and I just want to be at my potential. I don't know about you. I've got maybe 40 to 60 years left at best if I'm in perfect health, great health on this planet to fulfill my calling in life of why this big-nosed, big-eared, weird guy is on this earth. How about you? You have 10 years left, 5 years, 2 years, 150 years, whatever that may look like. It's time. Network marketing and recruiting might not be the first step of your calling in life. It might be the calling for your life, the purpose for your life. So the next thing I want to tell you right now is this. My church here in San Diego is one of the biggest churches. They have 4 campuses. It's an incredible spirit-driven leadership culture with amazing men and women across the church campuses throughout San Diego, California. And I heard the statistic at this men's retreat this last weekend that was awesome. 1,600 people, and I'm just going to use sales terms, right? 1,600 people got closed for the kingdom of heaven. 1,600 people got saved, reborn to become a Christian. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to preach on this call, but their job is to bring people into their church to get them to become Christians so they can go to heaven and not down there, and then to disciple them to go do the same thing. Are you with me? And what's really interesting about this is 1,600 people made a decision to be Christians. And that was pretty big for the pastor. And I'm thinking in network marketing terms. I'm thinking in the business world. I was thinking, that's good, but oh my gosh, look at the opportunity that we have in this business where you can recruit like I did 500 or whatever the number is, 50 people, 15 people in a month, 500 people in a year. Maybe your best is 50 people in a year, which is great. And that can compound. Those 50 that you recruit in a year can compound to 500, can compound to 10,000, can compound to 15,000. Look, if you're at your best, 10,000 people, you should, over time, when you dial it in, when you get rid of all the stuff we've been talking about, the fear, the doubt, when you dial it in, 10,000 people in your organization should be like, woo, wow, there's 10,000 people, because you're already on your way to 12, 15, 30, 40. There's no church on the planet, except for maybe China, except for maybe underground churches throughout the world. And again, this isn't a comparison to church. I'm just giving you an example. But we're in a business that if you have a purpose in life, if you have a calling and a message, network marketing is a faster way to spread it. Network marketing is a faster way to replicate what's in here. What's in here. It is faster than internet marketing. I believe in many situations it could be faster than traditional ministry. Than, so many people say, I want to make a bunch of money in network marketing to go on a mission trip. So they can maybe see 3 or 4 people, or maybe, I don't know. I'm just giving an example. Maybe some of your calling, and again, I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. But I'm saying if you want to change people's lives, not just get them into your nutritional product, your travel product, whatever product or service that you have, that the number one blueprint that I can tell you is that if you treat your business like it is a purpose-driven movement, you will be unstoppable of enrolling people. When they start whining to you on the phone, when they start telling you that the last 10 didn't work, when they start hemming and hawing about the money, when they start, all they're saying is, I'm afraid, I don't know if this can work. They need someone like you to go like this, reach through that phone firmly with love, conviction. Don't sell them. Don't over-educate them about how freaking great you think your product is. Don't be talking to me about how flippin' percentage your comp plan is this much better than the 2,500 other great network marketing compensations that are out there. They don't need that crap. Trust me, they may be asking for it because they don't know what to say and they're afraid. What they really need is you to go like this, reach through that phone, not overbearing. I am not overbearing, even though it may seem that way right now, but with love, with firmness, with clarity, with posture, with confidence, with conviction. They can feel that they want to work with you. They can feel it, and they'll enroll with you. I don't hear the excuses and all that crap. I'm just like, I want to give them the number one ingredient that I've learned over years that it takes to enroll someone. You want to know what the number one ingredient, after doing 80 plus boot camps, helping some of the top enrollers in the network marketing profession become not just good recruiters, but exceptional, their best possible recruiters. The number one thing your prospect needs to know is, can I do it? Deep down inside, I'm like a little boy or girl. I'm afraid. Outwardly, I may look tough. I may sound great. I may come from a good background of profession, sales or marketing or whatever. I may sound all confident. Deep down inside, I'm broke. I'm scared. I don't know if I can do this. So, my point of telling you this is this. Don't lead with education. Always. Don't lead with how great your product, service, company, comp plan, company owner, company leader is only. There's some times to put that in there, but don't think that you telling them how great your seeds are, how great your this is, how great your that is. Don't think that they need to be informed to say yes. Don't think they need to know how good your company is before they get involved. sometimes the more that you convince, you explain, you educate, you inform, will fill this extremely, humans right now, especially in America, humans right now, their heads are filled. They're filled with, I got to go to church tonight. I got to do kids' homework tonight. I got to get dinner going. I got to pay the bills. I got to have sex with my spouse. I get to have sex with my spouse. I get to go on date night. Right? Look, man, if you've got kids, man, you're going to be a little bit busy. And if you're sitting there just filling, shoving stuff in people's heads, now look, your prospects might ask you for it. How does this work? What will I be doing? How does the comp plan work? What's the difference in your product compared to this product? And if you're an amateur, or if you're even being good, you'll be like every single freaking network marketer today. 99% of network marketers that are prospecting are just filling education in here. They're trying to inform and explain why it's so much better. I've been getting prospected a lot by some pretty high-level seven-figure earners and some company owners because they heard that I was potentially looking at different things, right? I don't know where this rumor came out, but I've been getting these company owners calling me, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, my comp plan's so good. It's like, all I want to know is first talk to me about me. Talk to me about me. Tell me what struggles I've been going through lately. Talk to me. Find out who I am. Ask me a lot of questions. I don't want to know about how great you are right now. I just want you to listen to me for a minute. I want to see if I even like you. I want to see if there's a connection here. And then when it comes down to explaining it, based on what you've grabbed from me of what came out of my mouth, take that information that came out of my mouth, package it up, reach through that phone and say the words confidently and conviction that just make me want to work with you. And it's not saying or explaining that, but here's the most important thing. Do not lead with over-education, over-sales. Lead with momentum. Lead with momentum instead of, again, trying to over-inform people. So remember, getting paid $3,500 per day might be something that you blow past when you understand these recruiting principles. Actually, I have one more bonus if you guys want to stick around. And if you have any questions, I'll answer the questions. But before I give you this one more thing, let me give you my website, okay? In fact, if you want to connect with me personally, it's coachwithtom.com. Coachwithtom.com. And my website for free training, free videos is priorityteam.com. If you're watching the replay of this later, or if you are watching this live, can you type these in for me like Simon Cryer did? Thank you so much. And by the way, if you're on Periscope, make sure you follow that guy. All you have to do is click the button right there, and then make sure you follow that guy. He's a little bit crazy. I'm just going to warn you guys. He does some you think I do wild things. This guy is flat out a little bit, woo, cuckoo. Just kidding. He's an amazing person to follow. Very fun to watch. And thank you so much, Melissa. You're a rock star. Another superstar in the industry. The last thing I'm going to share with you is this, and this is probably one of my favorite strategies, is you got to have, whether you do this or not physically, you got to have a one-a-day mindset. Again, this feeds off of if you're going to eat, if you're going to drink, you might as well focus. If you're going to show up at work and make that $3,500 a day or more, you've got to focus on not just prospecting. There's a difference between prospecting and enrolling. You guys get me? You can justify prospecting that your mind is doing something. But when you have a one-a-day mindset, meaning some way, somehow, today I'm going to get a customer or a business partner. Some way, somehow, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get enough momentum, enough people, enough posture, enough of everything that I talked about to get one a day. Now, does that mean that you have to get one a day? No. But you should be focusing on getting one a day. Because if you focus on one a day, you will if you're at your best, you should be minimum getting 2 a week. Are you with me? And here's the question that I always say over the last many years. If you're not getting 2 recruits per week, what are you doing? What are you doing if you're not getting 2 recruits a day? Are you having fun on Facebook or social media or Snapchat? Are you learning how to prospect? Or are you just saying, you know what? I got to eat, I got to drink, I got to breathe, I got to sleep, I got to have sex if you're married. You got to do all those things, right? You get to do all those things if you're married. Why not just say, you know what? I'm also going to find one person, just one minimum, that I can bless today. What is one mommy and one daddy that needs to lovingly but firmly get over their excuses finally? And look, when people say, I don't like those MLM things, or I don't want to do potions and lotions, all that to me is like, I don't even hear it. Because all I know is when my kids are mad, when one of my kids is mad at the other kid and their egos flare and they're being selfish about what they both want, they go like this to each other. They're hurting. They're hurting inside because they're mad and they're offended by their sister. So they go like this. And then the other one goes like this. And then they go like this. Do you realize that your prospects are hurting? I hate MLM. They don't hate MLM. They hate their bank account. They're negative because their spouse has been being negative for years for them. No one has breathed life into their light body. So they're negative in life a little bit. They've gotten their butts kicked like most Americans because they've gotten lazy. They've gotten complacent. So here you come, hi, calling you back in reference to the information that you requested about working from home. What can I do for you? Right? You come across with positive. And you know what happens when light hits, I don't want to say darkness, but light hits a person that's commuting every day, that's, got that, they don't have the hope that you have because you have a new future financially. And maybe they're not, maybe they're in sales, or they're just not having a great day or a great month or a great year. And they may be good people, but they've been beaten down. People that have been beaten down, which unfortunately is most people that you're prospecting, warm market, cold market, social media, trust me, they're going to come across and they're going to say a bunch of lies. I don't even listen to it. This thing doesn't work. Though I don't want to be in that service or that product. They're going to say all those things. But it's not true. When you are bulletproof, when you have a purpose, when you have a calling, when you have a mission, when you understand that recruiting and leadership and your purpose that has to get out, you gotta do whatever it takes to get the strategic skills, to build the faith, go beyond your best to your best, to go beyond great to your best. When you do those things, you will be one of the top enrollers in your company, most likely the entire network marketing industry. Look, when I hear certain people recruit, I'm thinking, man, their sounds so good. Man, they have better words and objection overcoming. I don't care. When I'm on fire for my calling and my purpose in life, I can mumble my words. Look, if you hear me prospect, you might not even get it. You might go, how is he one of the top enrollers in network marketing? He doesn't sound that special, because you're not going to hear it maybe. But I promise you, I know exactly where to go with the prospect. I know exactly, I'm listening intently. I'm doing all the strategic things to get the highest ratio of going through that phone and getting the highest quality person that I can. It doesn't mean that everybody's qualified. Trust me, 90% of everybody that I talk to, especially if you're in the cold market, even if you generate leads that cost you $100 a piece, doesn't mean that everybody's qualified. All right, I can keep going on. This is my favorite topic because so many people are not that good at it, and I'm tired of it, especially if you're a believer. Look, I'm just going to say this one last thing as a bonus. You can take it or leave it. If you're a Christian, if you're a believer, I'm sick of you getting your butt kicked. I'm sick of you listening to the lie. I'm sick of you looking at all the other people that are like not of your faith going, why are they so successful? What's going on? If you are at all getting thoughts in your head throughout your day or while you're sleeping at night that this isn't going to work, you don't know if you can do it, all those lies is the enemy. There is an enemy. And it's just the only way that affects you is if you believe it. I'm just going to end with that one. But I'm tired of Christians walking around beat up, weak, defeated feeling. And you know why I'm saying that? Because that's been me. That's been me. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, I had a spirit of fear and I didn't even know it. I had a spirit of poverty mindset, and I didn't even know how deep it was. A spirit of ego. Even though I'm not making the most money I've ever made, I've been in a weird place, still making a great income, but nowhere near. I've been making a good income, but not what is possible for my best potential possible. So it's all a lie, and I thank goodness the Lord is showing me what the lies look like now. So I'm like, no, that's not true. That's not true. It's time to go again. It's time to go for your purpose again. So we're gonna wrap up with that. I really appreciate some of you being here today. Nate Ridgway, I love you, buddy. Melissa, you're a rock star. Simon Cryer, I appreciate you being on this scope today. It really helped fuel the energy, just knowing who you guys are and knowing the friendship. It really helped bring the energy. And I don't know if any of you were praying as well, but it really, just having you guys around was really a blessing to me. So thank you so much for being here. And we've got to connect really soon. Those of you that are listening in on the conference bridge, thank you so much as well. Anybody has any questions, you could press *2 on your phone, or if you have any questions out there, I'll be happy to answer any questions as well. Look, if you guys want to be a part of my boot camp, I run the #1 boot camp consistently. I've done the most boot camps probably of anybody in network marketing on recruiting. It's very simple, but so is being a black belt in martial arts. It's not easy. I do a recruiting boot camp every month, and you can go to tomsbootcamp.com. tomsbootcamp.com. The best lead sources, #1, of course, and #1, I'm going to go very fast through the absolute highest rating to the lowest rating, and I have a rating system that I've actually rated different prospects. #1 by far is leads of people that know you, respect you, like you, trust you as an authority. That's even better than warm market, by the way. That's more advanced. Okay, that's more advanced, and you might not want to start there. But the best leads that I recruit are people that call me and say, I watched all your videos. You guys are hilarious. And those are people that they call you expecting for you to know everything about their life, when the reality, they know about my life because they've been watching the strategic messages, videos, emails, social media, where they know us, like us, trust us, and they respect us. So by the time they get on the phone with me, they're like, I can't believe I'm even on the phone with you. That's the #1 lead source. That's the king. I don't think there's anything better than that. #2 is warm market. Now, for most of you though, I don't want to confuse you. Even though this one is the best attracting leads, it doesn't mean it's the best for you right now. The best for the majority, I almost did this. The best one for the masses for duplication is warm market. The best to start with for the first year, probably 2 years, more than attraction marketing, more than trying to figure out video, unless you're already an expert at it like Simon Cryer or Nate Ridgway, unless you spent years and years and years and years studying the dynamics of attraction and you've already got that built-in fire, you've got that built-in confidence. Learning how to do #1 is not by going to a course, trust me. I've been through so many dang good courses from so many good people on blogging, video, Facebook marketing, social media marketing. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. I've learned all the basic logistics. Do this ad, look, if you don't have the fire in your heart and the message, it will come across in any kind of content. So that's why number 2, warm market is and grassroots is still better. Okay, sorry. Number three is calling professionals. I just did a live boot camp this last week where I actually picked up the phone of one of my boot campers and I called one of her cafes, Starbucks, in a town a few miles away from her home. And she's been reluctant to call professionals in her area. And I picked up the phone and I said, who's the manager on staff? And they said XYZ. I said, I need to speak to XYZ. And they got the person on the phone. I said, hi, I'm a local recruiter expanding my company in your area. And I'm looking for people like you who are in management, who know how to lead a team. And I'm looking for people that are open to earning extra income over and above their current position there at Starbucks, or a potential 6-figure business over and in replacement of what you're doing. Do you keep your options open? I did that. She said yes. So number 3 is grassroots, and it is so powerful. And I've done this for 5 years. My first 5 years in network marketing, I did this every single day, calling professionals. So calling professionals is number 3. Number 4 is just meeting. Number 4 is meeting people out and about, right? Get rid of the excuses, just connecting with people out and about. Number 5 is referrals. And number 5 could actually probably be number 3 or 4, but the next one is referrals. And by the way, I'm going to do something right now since Simon asked that question. Anybody who enrolls in the bootcamp today, if you're getting this, the first 20 people, and because I know there's going to be a lot more people watch the replay, anybody who signs up by tomorrow, I'll just say by tomorrow, which is Friday, I'm going to give you unlimited prospect, $300 course for free, okay? All right, and then the next thing I would put is probably way down the list as the least qualified prospect would be buying leads. If you're buying, I call them tire kicker leads. There's a purpose for it, but it's usually just for practice. Yeah. So sorry, Simon, for the long answer. I appreciate you guys being on this very long scope. And I know some of you have come in and out, but yeah, sometimes that's the only way. There was a time in my life where I was so just low emotionally, depression, where the only thing I didn't want to, I was just at a point where I was having a hard time just kind of getting my emotions back, and leads was what saved my career, because I just needed activity. I just needed to talk to people, and I started slowly building my confidence up. So even though leads is way down at the bottom of the barrel, not everybody's ready to go crush out calling professionals. Not everybody's ready to figure out how to generate leads. So some of those other methods. So for me, many years ago, things are different now. I don't want to call leads anymore. But I was known, if you were in my first 5 years of boot camps, it was all around cold market prospecting. Simon Cryer was, been through that in my first 5 years of doing these coaching, and it was primarily just cold call recruiting. That's my strength over the last many years. But I don't want to look back. I want to look forward. And looking forward, I'm finally at that age of not being so stubborn a little bit, and I want to do what works in 2016. And weirdly enough, what works in 2016 and beyond, I think for many years, is reaching out locally to sharp people, whether it's warm market, referrals, meeting people out and about, professionals. I just see what's really replicating in network marketing. And the internet marketer is, again, attracting leads. There's a purpose for it for certain snipers, but the majority of people in network marketing that are exploding are happening with relationships, but I like to do both. All right, I've gone way over. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this very long Thursday call. Make sure you share this. If you come in late, please share this right now. Share this right now and the replay will go out to people that you care about to help them get this recruiting boot camp. Look, I can easily charge for this call because I believe this, I didn't hold anything back when it comes to the steps, at least, of the outline. You got the outline. Now, obviously, there's more steps to it, but I don't want to keep you guys here for hours. All right, God bless you. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye, everyone. All right, bye-bye, Facebook. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Jen. See you guys.